Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm. As always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in on this TGIF Open Line show. Every Friday, we do a show where you are my co-host and we talk about the week that was and anything else you guys want to talk about. You help to guide the direction of the show. And today will be no different. So welcome to you all who are tuning in by way of radio, whether you are here in New Providence, listening from Grand Bahama or our family islands, or anywhere outside the country. A huge welcome to you all. The telephone numbers to call are 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. And we're also streaming live to our YouTube channels. And speaking of channels, you can catch us on Cable Bahamas channel 974. You can also download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and engage us that way. And last but not least, thanks for listening by way of radio. All of you who are tuned in, welcome to you all. So now that we've taken care of that, let's dive right into the show. I think the big news today, at least, is that we have a new Governor General. Cynthia Mother Pratt is now officially the Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. A huge, huge congratulations to her. She becomes the third female to hold that post. And I am so proud of I got to get used to calling her Your Excellency, Mother Pratt, because she's now the official representative of the King, I forget Lizzie gone, of the King to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And anybody who knows Mother Pratt knows that this woman has pretty much dedicated her entire life to service. And I am so very happy for her, as I'm sure that many others are today. So I am going to start today's show with a little snippet of the ceremony that took place at Government House today. And for those of you who are listening by way of radio, I'm sorry, but you're going to get some music, etc. It may not sound like it's making sense, but to those of you who are watching either on YouTube or Facebook, you'll be able to see the video that accompanies it. And then we're going to go to clip with both Mother Pratt and the Prime Minister making a speech. We'll play a little excerpt from their speeches. And then we're going to have a clip of an interview that Mother Pratt did before becoming the Governor General, when she was asked by the media about her legacy. So first and foremost, let's show our Facebook and YouTube audiences some of the highlights from today's induction ceremony.
I will be faithful and bear the true allegiance.
Congratulations, Your Excellency. You are now officially the Governor General of Bahamas. The Most Honorable Cynthia Pratt, ON, Governor General and Chancellor of the National Honors Society.
Congratulations again to the honorable, the most honorable
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a web-based We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
All right, I'm not sure what happened there, but I got the internet there for a second, so here we go. Trying to get back onto this single shot. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go now to the clip with Mother Pratt. Oh my goodness, y'all still in the Mother Pratt. It's gonna take some getting to. But here now is that clip with the Governor General, Her Excellency Cynthia Pratt, as she accepts the position of Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
As I assume this distinguished position, I come therefore with a determined heart and a mind to promote and encourage the fullest application of those time-honored principles of mutual respect, self-discipline, sharing with others in our commitment to be law-abiding citizens, proud in every respect to demonstrate to each other and to the whole world at large that we are a people of self-respect, loyal to the principles which unite us, ready and willing to promote and share those standards with each other, that all of these held together by our faith will mark the manner of our bearing nationally and will be an example to each other across the beautiful seas.
As she now rises as our nation's Governor General, it is my distinct pleasure to speak in support of an unparalleled nation builder, community leader, and civic icon. Cynthia Mother Pratt's life is a testament to the capacity for love within the Bahamian spirit. Hers is a career marked by selfless service, rooted in a profound commitment to conveying hope to people who need it most. She has inspired our youth as an educator, tended to our sick as a registered nurse, lifted the spirits of the lost as an ordained minister, and of course, served the residents of St. Cecilia as a member of parliament for 15 years. In each of these roles, compassion was the hallmark of her approach. Her time as the first female Minister of National Security was marked by a visionary, holistic approach to policing. Many point to her tenure as the point in which community policing really came into full force, as she drove the development of urban renewal, which made an important difference to so many of our communities. While we often speak of her nurturing nature as the mother of a nation, I also wish to emphasize her strength. You see, she isn't just a comforter, she's also a defender of those who cannot defend themselves. And there can be no mistaking her kindness for weakness. Cynthia Mother Pratt is a force of nature with a passion for people.
Minister Philip Davis and our Governor General, Her Excellency Cynthia Pratt, at the ceremony that was held today, making it official that she is now the new Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Anybody who knows, this is a woman who has helped countless Bahamians get off to college. She has done tremendous work in her community. Just a really, really, wonderful person all around. And prior to her being sworn in as the Governor General, she had an opportunity to sit with members of the media. I think this particular interview was with, I believe, anyway, I don't want to say who it is just in case I'm wrong. But just a quick interview talking about the work that she has put in, the legacy that she has contributed to our country. Here now is that clip.
I have setting the pace to this point, not knowing it. And so as I came along, I brought my people along. And so when I stand at my gate, even now, I have so many of them stopping to let me know what I did for them and their families years ago that I didn't even remember. So this is what, when we say legacy, this is what I'm talking about. I want my people to know there once was a woman from the inner city who God had lifted up from the pit to the
palace. This is your opportunity, if you so desire, to send congratulations to our new Governor General. Some time ago I had heard that there was plans in the making to do a movie on her life. I think the working title was From the Pit to the Palace. And if I remember hearing correctly, the talk was that this was a movie that I believe Tyler Perry, his production company, was going to produce. I think I remember a story about that. So if that is the case, I'm really looking forward to that. I believe the talk was that, what's her name? I forget the name of the actress that's supposed to play the part of Mother Pratt. She's the lady that played the lead role in How to Get Away with Murder and The Help. And for the life of me right now, her name is escaping me. But anyway, hopefully that movie will, actually happen, because I think it's a great story to tell. Oftentimes we only focus on the negativity and the bad stuff and the bad news. And there's so much of that out there. But every now and again, you come across a feel-good story like this one, and I'm just so proud of her. And congratulations to your excellency, um, the honorable, her excellency, the most honorable Cynthia, for ascending to the highest. Viola Davis, thank you. Stephanie. Stephanie put the name up. Ascending to the highest office in the land. I think it's a well-deserved honor, and I know that she will do an excellent job in that position. Lavette says today is also the anniversary of Hurricane Dorian's landfall in the Bahamas. Ugh. Yeah, that was very sad event there. I want to stay on a happy note, but thank you for pointing that out, because many lives were lost during that hurricane. Many lives. You probably will never know the true number of how many people lost their lives. So to those of you who are still suffering the trauma of that, our thoughts and prayers are with you. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good. How
Hello.
you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. How are
Yes.
you?
Blessings to all of those persons who suffered because of Dorian. God blessings, and my wish is that they would really get some resolve in reference to housing and whatever they need on those islands. But back to Mother Pratt, I too want to congratulate Her Excellency on her elevation to this. It was destined. I woke up in time to see it and to interviews prior with her children, and you don't usually see them to the forefront. I think there were 3 of them that they interviewed. I saw this morning, and her daughter said how Mr. Pratt, the late Mr. Pratt, Joe, as she always affectionately called them. He told her that this was going to happen, and she told him, stop talking foolishness. But it in fact came to pass. But he's not here to listen here to see it. But and another thing, I saw an interview with Governor Pratt. It was, I think it was this year or last year. It was on an American station. There was this black female journalist. I don't know if you watched the excerpts or watched it on YouTube. Richie, I think. I don't know. I think his name is Richie. He normally comes on. It's a black-owned station, and they report on and show about issues in relation to the black experience. And she is one of the correspondents on that particular show, and she interviewed Mother Pratt. She interviewed her, right? And she was promoting her book. And she shared the experience, her experiences. I think it's 15 or 16 children, siblings of them. I think it was her mother had 16 children.
Wow.
And the struggles that they went through. I knew one of her late brothers, the baby. And I remember him telling me, and he was in tears, it was many years ago, about what they experienced with their mother, working in the straw market. And he was there, putting on her skirt tail, right there beside her. And, she passed and everything. And how mother, his sister, took care of him. She took him in, and she was a mother from, we all know, not only her children, but all, the whole community. And to see, and, she spoke about these experiences, and she spoke about how people in the book, too, how people never, some people, although she had elevated to being in the House of Assembly, there were certain, even some of her colleagues, she never felt, as if she had fit in. You understand? And how she, it was as if, she more or less felt like almost on the outside. But she stuck with her gun. She stuck true to her God, our God, and to see where she is today. And I, from a negative and a depressing, time that we have had, overshadowing our country with so many things. that's going on in this country, to see her and her being an inspiration, and to show that, you know, it's not where you begin, where you start is where you end. And, you know, another thing too, I just want to say congratulations and a heartfelt thank you to the former Governor General, Mr. Smith, on the awesome job that he did for this country, and the service that the depth of service that he gave us as well. Because I think he too was a teacher at one point, and I had an experience with him when he was the Minister of National Security, and he is such a wonderful person, and, you know, I will never forget him, and, you know, I am so happy to see that persons who truly, truly, truly deserve this honor are able to actually live, to see it, and to smell her flowers, and like I said, all the best to her and our country. And back to what I was saying about in reference to the BCGSE results with the grades and everything else like that. You know, I want all of these children who may have think they failed, you know, to look at her, and we have so many other persons who are truly inspirations, who came from desperate situations, you know, being a part of 16 children, if I'm not mistaken, to actually ascend to where she is today. It shows that no matter where you are right now, all is not lost. And to look at that, and I know she's going to continue to spread this message across this nation and throughout the world. And I look forward. I think that the name of the lady is Viola Davis. I think.
Yeah.
Yes. She'll do an awesome job of that role. But I just want to say that, you know, thank you for allowing me to have a safe weekend.
Now, before you go, did you say that she never made it to the House of Assembly? Is that what you said? I think the caller, she's gone. Because Mother Pratt obviously did.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial.
Mother Pratt did make it to the House of Assembly. She served there for, I think, 15 years, and was a former deputy prime minister. So, yes, she was elected to Parliament. Okay, so let's take a break. When we come back, let's see. Those of you who still want to send your congratulations to our new Governor General, we'll definitely make more time for that if there's more of you out there who wish to do so. If not, then we can switch gears on the other side of the break, because, you know, there's some other big things going on in town. But I just want to give Mother her little props. I apologize. I wanted to give Her Excellency her props. So let's take this commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to continue with our TGIF Open Line show.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm, and your company today on this TGIF Open Line show. The telephone numbers to call are 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 242-801-0271. We're streaming live on YouTube as well as on Facebook. If you haven't already done so, please like and share the show. Let everybody know that our TGIF Open Line show is on the air. You can also catch us on Cable Bahamas, channel 974. You can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and keep abreast of what's going on there. And last but not least, hello and welcome to all of you tuned in by way of radio. A huge welcome to our audience from here in New Providence, our Grand Bahama audience. If you're listening from throughout the islands of the Bahamas, welcome to you. And a special welcome to all of you who are listening from outside the Bahamas. Whether you are part of the Bahamian diaspora or just a fan of the show, I want you to know I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. So once again, it's official. Cynthia Pratt is now the Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have a call on the line. Hello, caller, and welcome to the show.
Ms. Malcolm.
Hi.
Yeah, congratulations to Miss our Governor General, Ms. Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to touch on today, education.
Yes.
You know, school just opened up. We have there are people how they have it set up, Eastern District to Northern District and the South. So we have people over the fairs of them to make sure the school run right. Well, I think in Green Castle, look, already the teachers them guns out are demonstrating because no teacher so in that class grade 6. You don't think the person who's over the affairs of those Family Island schools should know, You need a teacher. Ms. Malcolm, every year you cannot make these things up. The Bahamas is too small for this. And you tell me that you put these people in charge over the affairs over these schools on the Family Island, and nobody get reprimand for it, because it making the minister look bad.
I think a part of the challenge, because every year we hear the same stories. Every year. We could play a clip from 10 years ago, and you wouldn't notice the difference between 10 years ago and today when it comes to education rules. Every year, the schools ain't ready on time. We ain't got sufficient teachers to go here and there. I think a part of the challenge with the Family Islands especially is that they have a hard time getting teachers who want to go to some of these islands. I think that's a part of the challenge.
Ms. Malcolm, you bring teachers from abroad. That's all.
Well, I agree with that.
It making the minister look bad. Either who these people who are big, who is not doing their job the way it's supposed to be done, you move these people. It's just like and my last point, the Prime Minister. He said he supposed to come back to us to tell us about what happened to the Minister of Immigration. Well, we ain't gonna hear nothing more but that no more, because they're making a change. Again, we have the PS who's supposed to be running the affairs of these of government agency, but when the PS them, if they put the minister and freeze them and the job cannot do the proper way, it make the minister look bad again. Look at, for instance, look at Mr. Said. I mean, the people that plant banana tree in the road and stuff like that, and the PS maybe watch TV. The minister maybe watch TV, and they see these things and nobody do nothing about it. They hear the cry of the Bahamian people crying, say, please fix the road. The Prime Minister supposed to fire Mr. Sayers long time. Huh? See, the game have to stop. We say we 50 years, and we still, it's the same old thing. We wrote their mother crew out because there was no leadership. Now we put these head in. So it's the same thing. Leader must demonstrate that who is in charge. When you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you can get fired. I ain't gonna just make it easy to shuffle his cabinet so you can leave from this one to go to the next one to mess up. Because some of them don't have the knowledge what they're supposed to be doing. And because sometimes I believe the director or the PS know this minister or this one, he know what's going on here. So what we can do, we can make it hard for this administration. And they looking at that. They supposed to have some type of idea, Ms. Malcolm, what they're all that the PSM supposed to carry out the mandate when the government, the minister, bring it to them. You see, so we have Mr. Belt. They make it easy for him to do. They can move him, put somebody that's there, and that's it. For whatever he done, we ain't gonna hear but that no more. That's Dealey wrote the note. The two immigration what what McCarty Road, what the do some I think they how they beat the barber. We ain't hear nothing but that yet. That's finished. Thank you, Ms. Malcolm.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. I think everybody's heard the little sip and the little rumor about, a pending shuffle. I think everybody's anticipating that the Prime Minister will make an announcement this weekend, I've been hearing. as to who is going where and who is receiving what ministry. It's still speculation at this point. We don't know for sure whether or not this will in fact take place this weekend, but well-placed sources are telling us that it'll be this weekend that it'll be announced. So I think everybody right now is waiting with bated breath to see who going where and who getting what. And I'm sure the public will have lots to say on whether or not they think the ministers will be effective in their new positions if they are in fact shuffled. Matter of fact, I'm planning a show for Tuesday if the shuffle is announced over the weekend, to talk about, to give an analysis about the movement and what it's going to mean for each of the ministries that are going to be headed by new ministers. In the meantime, former Minister of Government Leslie Miller has some words on the pending the necessity for the pending cabinet shuffle. Here's what he had to say.
Get your people to do their work. And those who can't perform, get rid of them.
Former Cabinet Minister Leslie Miller giving a stern word of advice to Prime Minister Philip Davis amid swirling speculations that a cabinet shuffle could be imminent. His comments coming days after Davis told reporters that discussions about a government reset is underway as he looks to reprioritize his administration's agenda.
We are just near the halfway. I call this my halfway point before we move into what I call election mode. And we are thinking of what we are talking together as ministers to determine how best each one of us may best better serve the new way forward.
Talks of a possible cabinet shuffle coming not long after Immigration and Labor Minister Keith Bell ended up in controversy. Opposition officials accused him of violating a number of immigration laws, while Immigration Director Keturah Ferguson reportedly accused Bell of, quote, disrespecting the chair of the director. So could Bell's alleged actions be the reason why he and his colleagues could possibly be moved around? Miller opted not to assume, but here's what he had to say about Bell.
He knows his job. Very smart, articulate young man. And he's going to get it right. I think he's going to be back in cabinet in another position. I don't think we can afford to lose someone of that magnitude with the ability that he has to make a difference. You need people like them. Yeah, they already scorned him. He already caught his hell. He went through the fire. Such is life. Probably going to make him a better person.
Miller argues that a cabinet shuffle could be done to ensure that sitting members of the cabinet are held accountable.
Look at the performance of the ministers that you have put in place 2 years ago. You assess their performance and you, first of all, decide, what do I want the future to look like? I'm now headed into midterm. The next thing I have on my mind is the next election. Should I make those changes necessary to enable me to have comfort in the fact that Bahamian people have faith in my administration?
And he adds that a cabinet reset would ultimately be in the best interests of the Bahamian people.
They look at what is necessary to move the country forward. How do I advance the ideas and formulas that we want to adjust in our country to give the average, ordinary Bahamian a chance at life, to let them get involved in the economy of our country, where it's pretty limited now.
Miller says he's hopeful that the nation's leader will make the right call.
I believe he's not going to take any more foolishness from anybody. That include the ministers, the chairmen, and everybody else, a lot of the PSs too. Make the changes that are necessary to enable you to execute your functions as the leader of our country in a way that eases the burden on the average, ordinary Bahamian.
Now, while various cabinet ministers have remained mum on speculations about a shuffle, State Minister for the Public Service Pia Glover Roll said this.
Rumors and speculations, exactly. The Prime Minister, at whose pleasure I serve at, currently as the Minister of State for the Public Service, a role that I enjoy immensely. He has the say in terms of what he will do with his cabinet and if anything will be done. So at the end of the day, the ball stops with him, the buck stops with him, and he is the person that would have to address anything in regards to a shuffle of any sort.
All right, so everybody will be waiting to see what goes down. I think that now that we're at the midway mark, I think you have to assess where you are. I know that sometimes politicians aren't very good at this. They like to often put their head in the sand and pretend all is well, when all you got to do is put your ear to the ground, and you can tell when there's this rumbling of unease. If you're wise enough and you have discernment, you will know. And I think that we're there. And I think it would be wise for the prime minister to make some changes and make them fast and make them quick and make them good, because people are getting a little antsy now. People are a little tired, and ever since the Bahamian people discovered that they could vote government out, man, they taking this thing for sport. uh, Two-term government don't exist no more in this country. So I'm not saying that that you can't get another term, but you got to know how to discern the temperature and understand where people are at. And there's a lot of people, even though tourism numbers are up and these all these wonderful things, but still too many people aren't feeling it yet. And I really think that this is the time when a shuffle is absolutely needed and necessary. And my hope is that the prime minister would have, I guess, received good counsel from whoever he gets counsel from, and that he puts people where they're better suited for those who have not performed well in this first half. And quite frankly, I don't know if he is going to just move people around or not, or if some people are going to be elevated. I don't know, but I think he's got to make some tough decisions. It's rough, but you got to do it if you want to survive for another term, because it's a lot of rumbling on the ground, and all you got to do is put your ear there and listen, and you'll hear the cries of the people who are not yet experiencing this turnaround that they hear people talking about. And when it comes to elections in this country, our populace has a very, very, very short memory. They don't vote governments in, they vote governments out. They ain't trying to hear nothing but what you did over the last 2 years or whatever. And if they ain't feeling it, they ain't feeling it. So you got to get to the point where the work that you are doing, that it starts to impact the masses in a meaningful way, that they can actually see it and feel it and touch it and taste it. Until you achieve that, as far as these people are concerned, what have you done for me lately? If people are still hurting, if people still don't know where the next meal is coming from, trust me, they ain't trying to hear no message about we did this and we did the next. All they want to know is, what have you done for me lately? So everyone will be watching and waiting this weekend to see if, in fact, the prime minister does take the opportunity to announce any changes that he is perhaps making to his cabinet, to see who is going where and who will be responsible for what. Now, we've probably all seen that stuff that they've sent out. Somebody sent it to me via WhatsApp, this list of persons that they say go in this place and the next place. And, I tend not to pay too close attention to those, because we as Bahamians are very, very good at putting out false information. And I ain't saying information false, but I can't verify it. So I'm not going to run with it, because there's no way of knowing until it is officially announced what is actually going to happen with the cabinet of the Bahamas. But just know, Mr. Prime Minister, that if you put your ear to the ground, you will hear the rumbling. You will hear the rumbling. And so I think now is the time to make some tough decisions and get it done. Get it done. What else is going on in town today? Oh, this past week. Well, something very concerning. And that's all of these false allegations that are being made. Or misleading allegations that are being made with regard to abduction attempts. I did a show earlier this week, about when falsehoods grow wings and the consequences thereof. And now, the news item had been put out yesterday that a 50-year-old man tried to abduct a 2-year-old from her mother's cart while in the food store, and the mother was able to avert this alleged abduction attempt, and police put out a statement that they had a 50-year-old man in custody. And then a short while later, they had to put out another statement to say thorough investigation reveals that Danny had gone, that there was no abduction attempt. We got to be careful, people. We tend to be a copycat society in many ways. Only need one person to do something, and then everybody jumping on the bandwagon trying to get their 5 minutes of fame by claiming something similar or the same thing. And if this is going to become a trend, then maybe we need to start prosecuting people who make false statements. Because the amount of resources that has to go into responding to what turned out to be a false statement, there's a cost attached to that. Apart from you negatively impacting somebody's life. I mean, a 50-year-old man was arrested over this, taken into custody, and then the police had to turn around and say, well, no, our investigation showed that it didn't really happen like the person said it happened. What's going on in this town? What's going on? Maybe if we start making people pay who make false statements, then we'll nip that in the bud. Now, I am not minimizing the fact that this does happen. We all heard the horrific story of the child, the 9-year-old child that was abducted and brutalized. We all know that to be true. But we have to be very, very careful that we do not desensitize the public because of false or misleading allegations. Because you, by doing that, do a disservice to real victims. And I don't know if people realize the danger of making false statements like that. But you really cause people to become desensitized, and that's not good for real victims. So if you're a person out there who's a little bored and idle and ain't got nothing else to do but dream up foolishness to do, take that out of your mind, please. We're already on edge as it is. And I don't know the thinking behind it. I don't know if you figure you can get your little 5 minutes of fame. I don't understand the logic of this, but whatever it is, you all need to check yourself. Because too much resources and anxiety and everything else that goes with it is happening as a result of these misleading statements. So please stop it. It ain't cute that nobody is amused. I want to encourage people again, because my entire show on Tuesday was about exactly this. Is it Tuesday? I think so. Before you go running with something, verify, verify, verify. And yeah, I know the police initially put the statement out about the 50-year-old, and then the police had to turn around and say, well, based on our investigation, I how it go. So you may figure, well, since the police put it out there, I can run with it. People, let's just stop the madness. I don't understand the logic of doing that, what kind of pleasure you get out of that. But the madness has to stop. We got enough real victims in this country who aren't getting adequate help than for you to be pushing them further back because you creating sensationalism with these stories that aren't quite the way they're being represented. You're doing real victims a disservice. And too many people out there who really are suffering, that this diminishes their ordeal when you decide to make up stories. So, let's nip that in the bud. Let's not take that any further. If you got it in your mind to do it, don't do it. Because we're not amused. And it ain't cute. All right, let's take a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to continue looking at the week that was, or anything else you guys want to talk about during this TGIF Open Line show. We'll be back after this word from our sponsors.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing Fast-Acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rim, paint, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this little overcast, but not so bad, Friday afternoon here in the Bahamas. Thank God it's some clouds out there and it's not as hot as it could be, at least not here in New Providence. Thank God for his mercies when it comes to that. So, would love to hear from you guys. The telephone numbers to call are 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, and the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. As you can tell, I'm coming from home today, and somebody decided to pass my house with their loud vehicle. Anyway, so yeah, you can catch us on Cape of Bahamas channel 974, and you can also catch us on Facebook where we're streaming live, either there or on our YouTube channels. Make sure you like and share the show. Let everybody know that we are doing a TGIF show today, and this is your opportunity to sound off. Let us know what is on your mind. What do you want to talk about? Which stories caught your attention this past week? Or any other social ill that you would like to talk about. Welcome to all of you who are listening by way of radio or the Global 99.5 FM app, or any other means by which you are tuned in. Huge welcome to you all. So, education in the news. And the reason education is in the news is because, apart from what the caller talked about earlier, about, teachers not being in place and schools not being ready, etc. Education, the exam results have been released, and they ain't too good. So before I jump in about my opinion on all of this, here is a clip from the news as to what the numbers are looking like as far as our educational national exams are concerned.
The national exam results are out, revealing an upward trend in the amount of exam candidates, but a drop in students receiving A to C grades. A total of 18,716 grades were awarded this year for the Bahamas General Certificate of Secondary Education, an increase of 6.59% when compared to 2022. However, the percentages from A to C decreased, while D to G grades increased.
It is interesting to note that again, more than 80% or 83.40% to be exact of the grades awarded continue to range from A to E, which is now becoming the recurring accomplishment. This percentage is a slight decrease, but it is comparable to previous years. The percentages at A to C decreased and increased at D to G. Positively this year, U has attained its lowest percentage in the last 5 years at 2.59%.
Similar to last year, females continue to outperform males, receiving a higher percentage at A to C grades. However, female percentages also decreased in A to C and increased in D to G. As for males, compared to last year, percentages in B and C decreased, remained the same at D, and increased at E to G. On a positive note, the grade U has attained its lowest percentage in the last 5 years at 2.59%.
English language, biology, mathematics, and religious studies continue to remain the subjects of choice for the vast majority of our candidates. Art and design scheme C, auto mechanics, and clothing construction remain the least subscribed subjects. Of the 27 subjects tested, improved performance was noted in 8 subjects. They are art and design C, auto mechanics, biology, bookkeeping and accounts, combined science, electrical installation, food and nutrition, and French.
As for the Bahamas Junior Certificate, 7 subjects improved this year: English language, religious studies, literature, general science, art, craft study, and French.
1,945 candidates achieved a minimum of a D in at least 5 subjects. This represents a 17.79% of the overall candidature and a 5.19% increase when compared to 2022. In 2023, 1,402 candidates achieved at least a C in mathematics, English language, and science. This represents a 12.82% of the overall candidature and a 3.92% increase when compared to last year.
Now, when questioned on what the ministry is doing to address students that may be falling behind, Minister of Education Gladys Hannah Martin says this administration is focusing more on individuals to address the gaps in the education system.
There was a significant increase in performance at grade A and a significant decrease in the grade U. General science, improved performance noted at grades A, B, and D.
Tyler Simonet, Eyewitness News.
Okay. I know every year there's this debate as to what is passing, and, I don't want to go down that road today. What I do want to say, though, is, this is not very encouraging when you consider what this means for us as a nation and our readiness to be competitive with the rest of the world. That is not going to sit back and wait for us to catch up. I am very concerned about the future of our nation as it relates to what we are putting out. How many of the students who are leaving school each year truly qualified to make contributions to the development of this nation in any which way? And I'm not saying or suggesting that everybody needs to be a lawyer or a doctor or some office job or whatever. We need good plumbers, we need good carpenters, we need good builders, we need good engineers, But my concern is that we seem to be heading down this road where we're putting out thousands of students every year who I'm concerned may not be qualified to make any kind of meaningful contribution to the development of our nation. This is rather frightening. I think, as opposed to getting bogged down in, the discussion that we normally get bogged down in when it relates to education, we need to be looking at the future of this country and whether or not our educational system is serving us well. Are we preparing for the future of this nation, particularly when you consider that we don't live in this world by ourselves. We're not in a vacuum, and we're going to have to be competitive with other nations that are advancing by leaps and bounds. You know, you hear a couple of pockets here and there about some parents who, like C. Alan Johnson, for instance, who is embracing AI, and his little girls, as young as they are mastering AI, and mastering, all of the technology that is now out there. But ain't too many C. Alan Johnsons out there. We already had a challenge with a lot of kids dropping off the radar when it came to logging on during the pandemic. And, we know there are multiple reasons for why that was. Some children had no light or internet. Some children didn't have a device. Whatever it was, I think over 40% of children just dropped off. And I know that the ministry has been working hard to re-engage them. The director of education was guest speaker at the Rotary Club of East Nassau today, and she brought some figures about how many children are once again engaged. But you're talking about a 2-year loss of a generation of kids who were already far behind to begin with before the pandemic. So what does this spell for the future of this nation? That's what I'm more concerned about. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, good afternoon, Michelle.
Hello.
Just to comment on your discussion there. Michelle, we have to consider the variables when it comes to testing. And I'm not using it as an excuse. It's more of an explanation. There are many, many things that have to be considered when we see, these test results. And of course, it's from a national perspective, but we do have those children, of course, who've done exceptionally well in all of the major national examinations. But and they've done well because that extra effort has been put forth. And I would go on record to say that just about every child in our nation requires some level of one-on-one interaction when it comes to their intellectual development. We're really feeling the effects, especially in the classroom, of the COVID-19 pandemic, of the hurricanes, especially in islands like Abaco and Grand Bahama, where, we suffered the brunt of major natural disasters. And so there are lots of reasons as to why you would hear, grades like that. As disheartening as it is, learning is a lifelong process. And our people need to recognize that even more these days. When we think globally, and you mentioned, AI, it's a lot to compete with, and we are behind in many regards. But it speaks to just how serious we take it. The school of life. Learning takes place every day. Schools and teachers, we are 50% of the equation. Our children learn so much more outside of the four walls of a classroom. And, as a society, we really need to understand that, and we need to take that into consideration because, yes, they may sound very bad, but we do have those who are working hard. But we need, the gaps are wide because our kids have missed so much. We have about almost, between 3,000 and 5,000 students who never logged on to any virtual school. And those are the kids, some of them sat national exams, unfortunately, when they came back. And that is one of the reasons why you are seeing results like that. As well, they're not prepared, and they have sat these exams. And so all of these things must be considered when you think about those grades that you see there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling. I don't want you guys to think that I am trying to, oversimplify the problem, because clearly there are many layers to this problem. And it didn't just start this year. It was exacerbated by the pandemic and Dorian before that. And so, you know, it made a already testy situation worse. And now that all of that is behind us, the ministry at the Department of Education is finding itself in a position of playing catch up, trying to catch up just to get back to where it was prior to those um, shocks to the system. But meanwhile, and I hear you, caller, and I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. We can analyze as much as we want to analyze, uh, but if we're not catching up, it's still going to be a problem for us. Um, we already have a problem with brain drain, where our brightest and best go off and never come back home for various reasons again. Some of them, you know, can't get the type of pay here that they're receiving elsewhere. Some of them feel that they would be frustrated because, you know, the persons who want to stay in um, the non-digital age are not making it comfortable for them to come and introduce new technologies. So there's so many layers to this problem. We have Bahamians right now around the world making significant contributions to the development of other nations. Significant contributions. And meanwhile, we're here in the Bahamas wallowing in a less than desirable system where too many young people are leaving school ill equipped to play any meaningful role in any kind of development in this nation. We have to be very careful, people, because I know that um, all their lives, the younger people were told that they are special. And part of this has to do with poor parenting. What am I talking about? Well, when I was growing up, you had to earn things. If you wanted a trophy, if you play sports, you got to win something to get that trophy or that medal. Medals were only handed out for first, second, and third. There was no such thing as a participatory medal or a participatory, what you call it, trophy for participation. No, you earned what you got. And if you didn't win a medal or whatever, and you felt bad, you worked hard. So the next time you went up for competition, you did better. You earned what you got. These kids nowadays have been convinced that all they got to do is show up. They special. In case y'all didn't get the memo, they special. They were grown up being told, you are special. And all you got to do is show up. And we can reward you just for showing up. So there's this sense of entitlement. But that don't work in the real world. So we are ill preparing these young people to face the real world. And yes, I know that there are a lot of new technologies out there now. But whereas so much emphasis right now is placed on the brand, as long as you have a good brand, that gets you, noticed and gets you, in the door. But you need more than a brand to keep you there. And a big part of the problem is how these kids were parented. They really, really believe they're special. So when they are faced with the real world, and we didn't prepare them to take on that real world, now we got a problem. We have a call on the line. Call back on the GPS.
Hi, how you doing? How you doing?
Good, how are you? Excellent, thanks.
I'm fine, thank you. Listen, I just like to chime in. What I have observed over the years is that
you have a lot of people that have knowledge, but when it comes to imparting that knowledge to others, some persons are not as gifted as others. And I perceive that is one of the major problems in our schools today. We have a lot of knowledgeable teachers. They have the educational background, they have all the degrees and so forth. But when it comes to imparting that knowledge and imparting the concepts where you can break it down to the kids in the simplest form, that the simplest mind could absorb the concept. And that is one of the problems that I see that is happening in our school system. Another thing I notice is that a lot of our kids coming out of school lack comprehension skills. You could say something to them, and you ask them what you say about next 2 minutes after that, and they cannot relate it back to you. Okay, and this is a problem. That's why we see all this problem that we have persons with no conflict resolution. If you have no sense of comprehension, how could we resolve any conflict that you may have in life? And it goes back to what you were saying. The kids have to be taught by the parents as well as the teachers have, and it's amazing. I remember as a young child, when they were post-independence, I could remember being in school and there being a white teacher, right, from Britain. And at the end of the day, persons, the black Bahamians complained to the government, listen, we don't need these teachers here. We could do a better job and this and that and the next thing. And so they moved those teachers, they moved the Brits and sent them home and leave our Bahamians here. And to be honest, our education system has gone to the dogs ever since. And it's a stark reality, but some people don't want to admit it. And I heard somebody sent a message to me the other day saying that the schools, the grades are same from 75 years ago. And I had to address that person and tell them they're being rather disingenuous because I can remember.
Very much so.
Because I could remember I had some cousins that went to government high. I don't know if you remember when government high was government high. That was
I'm among one of the last students who entered government high through the common entrance exam, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so
my class was the last to enter on the common entrance exam.
That's right. And so you know that government high was the creme of the creme. Absolutely. When it comes to government school. Now it's just an ordinary school amongst the other government schools. And that's just my 5 cents I wanted to add to it. And I believe, and it may sound drastic what I'm saying, right? But every other year we hear the great Melinda. She get on Wilson, she get on the air, and she's advocating for the teachers' salaries and what have you, and their benefits. But we don't hear anybody advocating for the students. What about the students? How about somebody advocating that the students move from a national D average to at least a B or at least a B or C? It got to be better than D, man. And I believe the honesty that the government should really stop any salary raise for teachers, and some of them get mad with me, until
I'm pretty sure they will.
National grade point average come to at least a C or B. That's my take on it.
All right. Well, thank you for calling. You are absolutely right as it relates to the quality of education that existed back then. And let me just say this. I was taught by some white English teachers I was also taught by some excellent Bahamian teachers. Names like Claire Hepburn, Sandra Knowles, um, Camille Cartwright. I shouldn't have started calling names. Emily, what was Emily's last name was? There were some good Bahamian teachers as well. So not to say that the only ones who were doing a good job in terms of education were the white teachers from England. At least in my experience, we had a combination of both. And we received a good quality education in a government school to the degree where the education that we received at that government school far surpassed that of the private schools. Far surpassed. That government school was more desired to get into than the private schools. That's how good a school that was. So I know that there's a formula that has worked in the past. And therefore I know that it can work again. But who is going to have the will to fix it? We have another call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
I had to call back because I'm very passionate about this topic. I have a question for you. How do you feel in reference to when they changed over from BJCs, GCEs, over to the BCGSEs? Do you think the former was a better way?
I really can't say because my experience was the GCE and the BJC. So I can speak to that. I know how demanding and rigid that was.
In reference to the preparation for that?
Huh?
No, I mean in reference to the studies, the preparation.
Oh yeah, that was nothing to play with. You if you were able to pass those examinations, you were saying something. Now, this grading system is different from that grading system, and this is what officials at the Department of Education continue to say, because under that old system, a D was a failing grade. But under this new system, they say D is a passing grade.
And people,
and so the scale is different.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
But to see a D,
I didn't hear you call.
No, I'm saying you put that D, but people they try to explain it and whatever they're saying, right? But people still continue to look at that D as people don't respect that D that this whole grading system with the BCGSEs. I think we should have stuck with the former system that we had in reference to that, because it was, to me, it was a better method. It's sometimes people say this is dumbing down of the system. They like to use that term in reference to that D passing grade. But another thing too, Michelle, I think we have to do a complete overhaul in relation to that, to education, because the gentleman mentioned about comparison of the teachers with teachers. I think we have brilliant and effective Bahamian educators in this country. I'll never diminish them, right? However, they can only work with what they have to work with. And I think as in education, and I see they're trying to make inroads in order to find specialized teachers. And they need to expand that testing and evaluation areas. Even if you have to bring in experts to deal with that, these students, I feel so bad for them, because a lot of them, they really try. The parents try, even in the private schools, right? But there's some disconnect in reference to finding out with each child. Let's say you have 40 children in a class, right? These children continuously do poorly, find every which way. There has to be a problem. There has to be a way where they have to streamline the students to find out who have different issues in reference to learning. You understand what I'm saying? With learning disabilities, there's so many different issues that they have, and you just have to find the right way in order to approach and to teach these children. So I think that the biggest investment that has to be done is to educate or train the teachers that we have, invest in them, truly invest in them, who are really, who want to be able to help their students to find out. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you have to have certain zone like zoning or certain schools, or even on campus, have classrooms or have areas where these children, we teach them like this, we teach them this way. You understand? And until we do that, like you said earlier, you always have these headlines every year in reference to the results, because you have to find a way to reach these students. Some of them they need to do better, they can do better. But when you hear these children, these students say that they have so much pressure, they under so much pressure. You understand? Because they don't know, they can't figure a way out how to really do what they want to do as far as they just don't get it. And I think education has to find a way to train these teachers, some of the teachers, in order to have a system where special education, some children can't, as far as can't, they're reading it, they're looking at a word, but they're saying it backwards, they're reading backwards. There's so many different things that can be done in order to help these children, these students, along with the parental involvement. Because as a parent, if you see your child is not doing, you're trying to help them, you go and you try and figure out, sit down with the teacher, try and figure out what is the problem with my child. You understand what I'm saying? I know sometimes it's a big wait list when you have to have your child tested, but do what you have to do. But I think they need to expand that, invest more in that area. I think if they can invest more in that area, trying to find a way to connect with these children to make it make sense for some of our students, because it cannot be, Michelle, it cannot be this huge amount of students that are doing so poorly in these classrooms. I refuse to believe that. We have to do more. But thanks again for listening to me.
Thank you so much for calling. We have a lot of issues in this country, many of them social, that have an impact as well. The home environment of a lot of these children is beyond scary. When you hear about kids facing post-traumatic syndrome, what is it? Post-traumatic, like what people get when they go off to war, because they are literally living in a war zone. The home environment, there's so many different factors that are contributing to this. But we got to figure it out. We don't have a choice, because otherwise we are in for a serious, rude awakening. I'm telling you all, it's scary what's happening out there. It's scary what's happening out there. So we got to do something. We got to fix this thing. We can't just allow this to continue, because we're setting ourselves up to be a nation filled with young people who cannot make a contribution in the real world. And I know that there are many new technologies that are out there now, and a lot of them are doing well, embracing technology, but some of them aren't even able to do that. We need to address this. And I think it's more serious than we realize. We're setting ourselves up for some serious failure, people. We got to look at this fast. Okay, we're going to take our final break, and then on the other side, we're going to continue with our open line show. This is GPS on a TGIF Open Line Friday.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our number one priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island.
twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Miss Markham. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay, you know. Well, I'm not teaching now, but I taught for a few years.
Okay.
I didn't teach in the government. I taught in the government system, but only for 1 year, filling in, because there was no electrical teacher. I taught electrical installation in the high schools, and I didn't go to school for education. Believe it or not, I graduated from Government High in '79, the same as you. Same as you. Both my sisters went to Government High. One of my sisters graduated in '76 from Government High, and one in '74. I think one was in the same class with Opie Piddlin and James Carrier. It was, and when I came in, I went into 10B1. I don't know, probably there was no space in your group, because I came in with the entrance exam. But we went in that class. I was in the class with Commissioner Greenslade and all of us. But it was very competitive. We were all competing to see who would have the best grades. That was kind of competition that was in our class at that time. Not all the classes were like that, but I know that's what our class was. But when I left school, I ended up doing electrical installation, finished with that, went off to school, did a degree in theology. And when I was there, I studied up in Indianapolis, Indiana. I was a 4-point student up there. Came back, I didn't intend to teach, Came back to do ministry, moved into one of the islands, and I was there for a while. Ended up teaching for about 12 years.
Okay.
While there, I found out what happens is teaching is a ministry. You don't go in that for the money. You're affecting lives. Children are like best of them. When I began to teach, I start my sessions with storytelling. That's my hook to get the students into what I'm about to teach them. The gentleman was right, Some teachers do not know how to impart knowledge. And that's a skill. Teaching is a skill. And it's a ministry. And the problem is too many teachers are there for the dollar. They're there for the money. And that's all they're in there for. A lot of them don't belong in the teaching profession, but because of the shortage, we're forced to have them. I had a student in my class that was doing horrible in all his grades. And but something he was going through, I saw he was troubled. What I did was I took him under my wings. I took him out. He loved basketball. I played basketball with him in the evenings. I took my time. And then I spoke with him. I found out, went to his home, found out he was going through a crisis in his home. His dad was sick bad. His mom was the only breadwinner. And they were really, really needing it rough. And it was affecting him mentally. And after I was able to reach him, and I prayed with him, spoke with the family, prayed with them. And, he went from having a D in all of his classes. He got an A in maths. He was getting A's and B's in all his subjects. In fact, the groups that I taught, I got A's and B's in electrical installation in grade 11 students in the electrical installation BGCSE. I got A's and B's from all my classes, from 11 and 12. In fact, the Ministry of Education, then the examiner came now, who was the engineer, Mr. Butler. He was at CB Bethel at the time. I think he's retired now. He was so impressed with the work. I didn't even know this, but my students did so well. I had the best passes in the country. They awarded me the Governor General's Award in Education. And then they came back and I became an examiner on Grand Bahama for a year. The Guyanese teachers that were down there would come to me and ask me, what are you teaching your students? But I had to tell them because they're teaching Bahamian students. So you have to make sure you pull everybody up. I went through a lot. I'm not able to walk now. I went through a couple of 5 surgeries. And those hurricanes kind of devastated me in Grand Bahama. Came back to Nassau where I'm not now. But I say all that to say this. You have to find out what's going on with every single student in your classroom. If you want them to learn, you got to reach them because you will lose them. And too often in the school, especially the government school system, they pass you from grade to grade. They don't have no time for you to repeat. The teachers don't take no time with you because the class is probably too big. But there's a way you can reach them. You have to make learning interesting to them, related to what they're into, and you'll be surprised how many students you reach. I just wanted to chime in with that. Thank you, Michelle.
Sorry about that. I'm muted. Okay, so what I was saying is that prior to her death, I had the opportunity to interview Marjorie Davis, who was a former director of education, who was instrumental in setting up the whole system for the BGCSE examinations. I mean, she was really the one who spearheaded that effort. And one of the things that she talked about is the fact that because there was an explosion in the population, for a lack of space, they weren't building schools fast enough. They couldn't keep up with this explosion in the population. And so simply for a lack of space, they had to keep passing kids along who weren't learning at the pace that they needed to learn. And they eventually started passing kids out of the school system, not having learned the basics simply because of this explosion in population size and a limited number of classrooms and teachers to try to address these students. So you're talking, right, even now, on average, in the government school system, I think each class has, about 30 students, if not more. And many of them are falling through the cracks simply because of a limited amount of space. So you've got this explosion in the population. And some would argue, where are these children coming from? Because there's a decrease in the number of Bahamian births, but other people are being born. And they're all being educated in our school system. And so you have this explosion of a population that these teachers now have to deal with. And it's not, in defense of teachers, you may have some who really don't have that passion. But I do believe that we have quite a lot of teachers who are passionate about their work, but it's like their hands are tied because of all of these social ills and limitations that are placed on them. So we're putting out hundreds of students each year. Some of them can't even read and write. Some of them don't know the difference between multiplication and division, much less comprehension. And I agree, not all students are academically inclined, but that does not mean that they don't have a contribution to make. You just have to find out where their strengths are and then push them in the direction towards their strengths. You would have heard me talk maybe before about a relative of mine who's a perfect example of that. He's a twin, a girl and a boy. The twin girl was brilliant, got straight A's in school, brilliant student. The boy struggled. He struggled academically, never a good student, but he was always very interested in learning how things work. Always used to be breaking up by electronic toys somewhere. He wants to see how it works and all this kind of stuff, much to our annoyance. But that is what he was curious about, how things work, fixing things. I remember at one point, as my cousins tell the story, something went wrong with their landline, their telephone. And for weeks, BTC, as it was called, but telco at the time, was sending technicians out trying to fix his phone, and none of them could figure out what was wrong with the phone. They couldn't fix the phone. And my cousin goes in there. About an hour or two later, he comes back on. He say, "Yeah, your phone working." So he figured out how to do what technicians who were being paid to fix it couldn't figure out. So clearly, that was his strength and his interest. He wasn't a good student as far as the grades were concerned. Today, he is the chief engineer for British Airways. All those large jets that fly into this country, he is the engineer responsible for those planes. So just because he wasn't a great student in terms of the traditional, grades, he is making a major contribution today because he found his strength. How many children out there today have some kind of hidden talent or something they're curious about that's being buried and lost because we haven't recognized that they have this talent? How many? Falling through the cracks because nobody has taken the time to find out what their strengths are and push them in that direction. So this is a challenge for us. This is definitely a challenge for us. But we don't have the luxury of not addressing this. We don't have that luxury. We got to find out what these kids are good at, find out what they're interested in, push them in that direction, help to nurture them, and show them that there is a way that you can have a decent living without going in this particular direction. Everybody can't be a lawyer. Everybody can't be a doctor. Everybody can't, But we have room for other professions that we will need filled. And how many kids are being lost who could be making a valuable contribution to the development of this nation because we're not recognizing their special skills? This is a problem, people. Believe me when I tell you, this is a problem. We got a generation of young people being put out there today who ain't ready for the real world. Can't cut it in the real world. So what are we going to do? Continue to just push them out? Or we going to find a way to address these kids and get them what they need, get them the help they need, the attention they need, deal with the socioeconomic problems that they're facing, read them where they are and help to prepare them for the future? Are we going to do that? Or are we going to continue to kick this can down the road and lament every year that our educational system ain't working? We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Lady Malcolm. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
I am all right. A little frustrated with the topic we are having today. But Lady Malcolm, let me tell you, and when I say certain things to the Bahamian public or the people, I know what I'm saying and I know where it's coming from. This, you remember when we used to go to school back in the day, everybody wanted to get an A, B, or C or a certain GPA average, or we wouldn't advance to the next grade, or you would have to repeat, or whatever the case may be. Detentions, all those kind of things was there. This keep your foot on them and hold them down design is by design, Ms. Malcolm. And when I tell you that, I tell you what my daddy told me, who was in politics in the PLP back then. This is an orchestrated design. That's why we gone from A, B, and C to D, E, and F, and God knows whatever else down on the bottom there. So the oligarchs and the big time people could stay in power. This is by design, and I keep telling the young people that it was taught to Oscar Finland by Mugabe of South Africa, and Finland came back and taught it to Ingram and Christie. That's why Christie gone to the back to the PLP, and Ingram gone to the FNM. Finland told them, whichever way they go, God got them. This is by design. I can't stress that enough to the Bahamian people. You need to know.
I don't disbelieve you.
In the PLP?
I don't disbelieve you. I believe you. I believe you.
Because, Lady Malcolm, the things that you are saying, we are saying, everybody else, see Allen and everybody calling. You think them fellas ain't know about that? You don't think they know about that?
Of course they do.
They thank you very much. This is by design, so these cats can stay in power. and the wealthy boys could stay on top of this ladder. That's what
But
I
you know
have
it's
to
going
say.
to blow up in their face if they don't fix it, right? You still there, caller? Okay, I think the caller is gone. I don't disagree with you that it's by design. I believe that as well. But this can come back to bite them if they don't fix this problem. This is going to come back to haunt them. This may have been seen as a solution back in the day, but this is a different world we live in now. And putting out a bunch of students who can't function otherwise and be your labor is going to end up biting you where it hurts. Trust me, it is not sustainable to continue going down this road. And I hope that the right people recognize that within time and do something to change it. This is not sustainable. We got to do better than this. And if we don't, trust me, this can come back to haunt y'all. So what might have worked in the 80s and 90s, etc., this is a different ball game now. And that model ain't working no more. That's my 5 cents on the matter. So yeah, they would want to, I think, pay attention to that. So we have a comment from Dwayne that says, when you ride through many of our streets, there are children walking and playing after 10 p.m. Lord knows what time they go to bed for school the next day. Can you imagine that child trying to focus in class and not fall asleep? As a youngster, my parents gave me curfews. Sunset, we had to be inside by 8 p.m., bathe and in bed. Not to mention, before you could go outside to play, your homework had to be done. Well, you know what? You had parents who raised you. A lot of these kids ain't got nobody raising them. They just growing. That's a major part of our problem as well. The socioeconomic aspect of this discussion is a major part of the problem. You got a lot of kids who ain't nobody raising, they just growing like wildflower. And you don't address people, those kids can grow into adults who are going to be seriously disenfranchised and who are going to come seeking their own one way or the other. We don't need that. So I really hope that we get our act together, because those of us who are old enough remember what it was like to have a functioning, very effective educational system in the public schools. I'm a product of one of them. And so I know it's possible. But we got to have the will and the desire to fix the problem. All right, that's my time, y'all. I want to thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon. Truly TGIF, I did a repeat show yesterday because, quite frankly, my brain was tired. I just needed a break. So it's good to be back today, but I'm looking forward to a good weekend where I'm going to get some rest and come back fresh next week with some wonderful shows planned for you, God willing. So until then, people, let's act civilized over the weekend. Let's put down the guns and the knives and all the trivial foolishness we killing each other over, and let's show more love. All right? We live in too beautiful a place for us to be carrying on like I always be carrying on. Too beautiful a place. Let's show our gratitude to the Creator for putting us in such a beautiful, beautiful place. All right? That's it. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Have a good weekend and take care.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners